Use a campfire for warmth, or use a portable heater. Hike through dense forest, or hike across open plains. Camp near a waterfall, or camp near a cave. Be rained on during a hike, or be sunburned during a hike. Have a bright full moon, or have a dark starry night. Bring too much gear, or forget essential gear. Cook on a portable grill, or cook on a campfire. Camp in a pop-up tent, or camp in a traditional tent. Have a campsite with great cell service, or have a campsite with no service. Go on a scenic drive, or go on a scenic hike. Be too cold while sleeping, or be too hot while sleeping. Camp near a bustling city, or camp in the middle of nowhere. Encounter a mountain lion, or encounter a wild boar. Have a campsite next to a lake, or have a campsite next to a river. Go stargazing, or go bird watching. Sleep in a sleeping bag, or sleep on a camping cot. Go for a swim in a lake, or go for a swim in a river. Camp with limited food, or camp with limited water. Hike a familiar trail, or hike an unknown trail. Swim in a lake with leeches, or swim in a lake with piranhas. Camp by the ocean, or camp by a lake. Sleep in a tent full of spiders, or sleep in a tent with a snake. Have no clean water for a week, or have no food for 2 days. Hike barefoot through thorny bushes, or hike through a swamp with leeches. Get caught in a thunderstorm on top of a mountain, or get lost in the wilderness overnight. Deal with a bear rummaging through your campsite, or deal with a swarm of wasps inside your tent. Camp next to a very noisy highway, or camp next to a sewage treatment plant. Have a sunburn with no relief, or be freezing cold with no way to warm up. Have all your gear soaked by a sudden downpour, or have all your food spoiled by heat. Encounter a grizzly bear, or encounter a mountain lion. Spend the night in a tent with a broken zipper, or spend the night in a tent that constantly leaks. Be covered in mosquito bites, or be covered in poison ivy. Run out of water in the middle of a desert, or run out of food in the middle of a forest. Be woken up by a pack of coyotes howling, or be woken up by a skunk spray. Be stranded without shelter in a hailstorm, or be stranded without shelter in extreme heat. Experience a week of non-stop rain, or experience a week of non-stop wind. Have a swarm of flies follow you everywhere, or have a swarm of mosquitoes follow you everywhere. Get blisters from hiking, or get severe sunburn. Encounter a rattlesnake on the trail, or encounter a black widow spider in your tent. Have to deal with a campsite infested with ants, or have to deal with a campsite overrun with mice. Be stuck in a remote location with a dead phone, or be stuck in a remote location with a flat tire. Have your tent collapse in the middle of the night. Or have your tent set up on rocky, uncomfortable ground. Run out of bug spray in a mosquito-infested area. Or run out of sunscreen on a scorching hot day. Get lost for hours with no GPS. Or run out of fuel far from civilization. Have no access to a bathroom for a week. Or have no access to clean clothes for a week. Experience a severe allergic reaction in the wild. Or experience a bad case of food poisoning in the wild. Get bitten by a venomous snake. Or get stung by a swarm of bees. Have a bear steal all your food. Or have a raccoon raid your tent and gear. Be caught in a landslide. Or be caught in a flash flood. Deal with hypothermia. Or deal with heat stroke. Camp in a haunted forest. Or camp in a deserted, eerie cabin. Have a tent infested with cockroaches. Or have a tent infested with rats. Be woken up by a thunderstorm directly overhead. Or be woken up by an earthquake. Deal with a sudden snowstorm. Or deal with a sudden heat wave. Have your only pair of shoes fall apart. Or have your only jacket get torn. Be surrounded by howling wolves. Or be surrounded by hooting owls all night. Camp in an area with constant loud airplane noise. Or camp in an area with constant industrial noise. Have your camping trip cut short by an injury. Or have your camping trip cut short by severe weather. Be stuck in a tent with someone who snores loudly. Or be stuck in a tent with someone who talks in their sleep. Have no flashlight or headlamp at night. Or have no way to cook your food. Encounter a moose in rut. Or encounter an angry beehive. Have a tent that is impossible to set up. Or have a sleeping bag that is way too small. Get caught in quicksand. Or get caught in a flash flood. Experience an encounter with a rabid animal. Or experience an encounter with a poisonous plant. Have your tent blown away by a strong wind. Or have your tent flooded by heavy rain. Be unable to find dry firewood. Or be unable to find clean drinking water. Be stung by a jellyfish. Or be bitten by a snake. Have a severe allergic reaction with no medication. Or have a severe asthma attack with no inhaler. Eat a worm. Or eat a cricket.